From the All Indiana Podcast Network. The All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know and more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, August 17th. Here's meteorologist Randy Ellis with a look at your Monday forecast.
Yeah, good morning there, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. And weather was perfect Saturday and Sunday. Couldn't ask for a better forecast there. Today, we have a little disturbance coming on down. We're okay right now, but I think this afternoon, probably some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm. So we head through the day today. Sunshine this morning, some afternoon clouds. 8 o'clock, 64. By noontime, 78. And by 5 o'clock here, a chance of a spotty shower, maybe a thunder shower. 5 o'clock temperature, 83 degrees. Now, on radar, not much going on. It's a very quiet morning out there. We have a little front trying to come on down. So we'll go to our Futurecast model. Probably not everybody will see rain. We'll be okay through the morning hours. We'll take it out, stop it at noontime. Not too much going on. And then by mid to late afternoon, this is by 4 o'clock, can't see a little broken line to showers, maybe a couple thunder showers just north of the city, moving steadily southeastbound. So this is going to get in and get out if you're early tonight. And then we'll clear it out later this evening.
IPS teachers wanted to send a message of encouragement to their students before e-learning begins today. Here's part of what was sent out.
As we go into this week of uncertainty, I want to remind you to look for the tiny blessings that will be all around you.
Resilient means recover quickly from hard situations. We can be resilient this year.
My word is shine. We'll work hard, but we'll play harder. We can do this.
IPS students will have virtual learning until at least October 2nd. The district sent us some pictures from overnight. It showed some of the 30,000 devices that have been handed out to students. Students got an iPad or Chromebook so they could learn at home, and those who don't have access to internet also received some mobile hotspots. And clearly navigating this virtual learning is tough for everyone involved, teachers, students, and parents. IPS is now linking up with 11 community learning sites across the city where students can go to get help with schoolwork, interact with other students, and simply be taken care of while their parents are at work. Here's Travis Robinson.
Taken care of while parents are at work. News 8's Travis Robinson spoke to a parent who is thankful for the extra help.
Michelle Island is an IPS parent, and as you can tell from the background of this Zoom call, she's already got her hands full. So when she heard about the move to fully virtual learning, she had to scramble a bit to figure out how that was going to work.
You know, that was concerning, especially, being a single mom at home. So having 3 children, that can be a lot of different ages. So that's it was concerning for me.
Her kids will now be taken care of thanks to the Mind Trust. The nonprofit invested $200,000 to set up learning sites in places like the Edna Martin Center, where students can get all their needs taken care of as if they had a typical school day.
We'll have support for e-learning, food, just a whole bunch of activities for kids, and it'll be a safe, loving place for kids to go during the day to ensure that they're still getting high quality instruction and they have the social emotional supports that we know are so important.
Some of the sites, like the Cheney Micro Learning Center, seem like they can't hold many students, but the Mind Trust says they're keeping safety in mind.
So the 11 sites will range from serving about 20 kids to I think up to about 150 kids, and it's really dependent upon the facility and the capacity for the organization. We know that it's going to be really important to follow CDC guidelines, and we want to make sure that we are following all social distancing practices.
Parents like Island say by having that extra help and support from the learning communities, she doesn't need to worry or feel like she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders.
You do not have to do this alone. It takes a village to raise a child and your children, and that's what I feel that they are offering, that extension for that village. So get with it and make those connections.
I'm Travis Robinson for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
The e-learning sites are set up to be available as long as IPS has virtual learning. If it goes past October 2nd, the Mind Trust will look for more funds. There's only enough room for 500 students, so sign up is necessary. We've got a link to do that on wishtv.com. And IPS parents can also pick up free meals twice a week for their students during e-learning. Mondays and Tuesdays, families can grab 2 days of breakfast and lunch. That's from noon to 3 p.m. Wednesdays and Thursdays, students get 3 days of meals. Those will be handed out from 9 a.m. to noon. We have a list of more than 30 pickup locations on our website as well. There will be no Friday Night Lights for New Palestine High School this week. It has canceled its Week 1 game. Hannah Mordeau reports.
That's right. The district says that several players are just ineligible to play because they haven't had enough practice time, and that is because several students had to quarantine after a football player tested positive for COVID-19 earlier this month. Now, take a look at these pictures. New Palestine High School tweeted out the photos of the football team playing a scrimmage game a few days ago. Now, only the freshman team will play their first official game this week. Several students at the school have already tested positive for COVID-19, including that football player on August 1st. School leaders say too many varsity and junior varsity players did not meet the IHSAA's 10 practice minimum since they were in quarantine, so that's why Friday's game was called off and won't be rescheduled. New Palestine's high school athletic director Al Cooper put out a statement and said, in part, it is in the best interest of the health and safety of our program to forego our Week 1 game at this time. The high school principal also put this message out on Twitter last night.
We've got 2 weeks under our belt, and I do know that each day there is some stress with the contact tracing, the going home with COVID symptoms, and just kind of each day knowing or not knowing exactly how it's going to go. And so I just want to give everybody a shout out for being patient, understanding.
The school says as of now, JV and varsity will play their second scheduled game, and that will be on August 28th.
That was Hannah Mordeau reporting. And people may soon have a quick and non-invasive, inexpensive way to find out if they've been infected with a coronavirus. Health officials say this might help the country flatten the curve. Officials say results can be determined in under 3 hours, and tests are expected to cost about $10 per sample. The National Basketball Association helped to fund the development of this test and uses it to test for non-symptomatic carriers. The FDA announcement comes as the U.S. death toll for known COVID-19 cases passes 170,000, according to Johns Hopkins University. And while known new cases of COVID-19 are trending down, some say more still needs to be done. Doctors expect this to take weeks, if not longer, to become available. Indiana is now reporting more than 80,000 cases of COVID-19 since counts began. The state health department added 750 more infections as of yesterday. That brings the state's case count to 80,415. The health department reports 3 new deaths. The state says 2,924 people in Indiana have now died from the virus. The matchup tightens in Your Vote 2020. A new CNN poll shows Joe Biden's lead is narrowing. 50% of registered voters say they support the Biden-Harris ticket. 46% say they back President Trump and Pence. That's right at the poll's margin of error at 4 percentage points. In June, Biden was leading 55% to 41%. The race narrows even more when it comes to 15 battleground states. According to the poll, 49% back Biden, while Trump lands at 48%. And the Democratic National Convention does begin tonight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The unconventional convention is now condensed to 2 hours of online programming. Tonight's speakers feature the broadest representation of Joe Biden supporters. The list includes former opponents on the campaign trail, Senators Bernie Sanders and Senator Amy Klobuchar. Ohio's former Governor John Kasich is also slated to speak. He ran for the Republican nomination for president in the last presidential election. The night will end with a speech from former First Lady Michelle Obama. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling for House lawmakers to return from recess this week. It comes as Democrats say they're ramping up their investigation into the United States Postal Service. Pelosi wants a vote on the Delivering for America Act. It will prohibit the USPS from implementing any changes to operations or level of service. President Trump's new postmaster general has sparked nationwide debate after dismantling some sorting machines and implementing cutbacks before many states allow more voting by mail in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Democratic lawmakers are calling on leaders of the Postal Service to testify at an emergency oversight hearing next Monday. Now to the Trump campaign. The president is making 2 stops today. President Trump will visit airports in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Trump's campaign says that he'll highlight Joe Biden's failures on jobs and the economy. Both states could be pivotal in the upcoming election. Chicago and Cincinnati join the list of cities seeing a rise in gun violence. According to Chicago police, at least 30 people were shot and 3 were killed over the weekend. Police say a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, and 2 16-year-olds were among those shot. Cincinnati saw at least 18 people shot and 4 killed. In a statement, that city's police chief calls the violence unacceptable, saying in part, "I am calling on all citizens of this great city to say enough is enough. We must not sit by silently and say we can't do anything to end gun violence." And it is race week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A weekend of qualifying set the field of 33 drivers with a notable speed discrepancy between Hondas and Chevrolets on the track. The first time in 18 years, the top Chevy team, Team Penske, is not represented in the first four rows. Penske's four drivers got shut out of the Fast Nine. Joseph Newgarden qualified 11th. Will Power wound up 22nd. Helio Castroneves sits in 28th, and defending Indy 500 champ Simon Pagenaud came in at 25th. Here's Simon.
It's still difficult to explain at this point because if we knew, we would have done it, right? And I'm sure other teams, if they knew how to go faster, they would have gone faster. But that's racing in general. One year, it's your year. Like last year, we were the fastest by far, and nobody could understand. This year, we just didn't have the speed. I won with Team Penske. I won with Chevrolet, the Indy 500. I'm never going to blame any one of those two. It's just the way it is. It's racing, and you got to learn from the situation, go forward.
Marco Andretti won the pole, breaking a 33-year family drought. Andretti logged a four-lap average of 231.068 miles per hour to bump five-time IndyCar champion Scott Dixon. Andretti will sit on the front row alongside two former Indy 500 winners. Scott Dixon qualified second, and Takuma Sato was third. Today, Colts players will practice with pads for the first time this season. The team gets 14 padded practices before the start of regular season. Guard Quentin Nelson is set to go up against defensive tackle DeForest Buckner for the first time today. Head coach Frank Reich spoke with the Colts.com for its show Colts Happy Hour. He said everyone is looking forward to today, saying, quote, "I think the ramp-up period's been good. I think it's been appropriate, but I think everybody wants to get the pads on and take that final step as far as preparing for the regular season." The Colts are less than a month away from their first game of the regular season against the Jacksonville Jaguars on September 13th. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.